So Brihad Bhagavatamrita, continuation of the reading from the other day. So now Narada Muni is here with Pandavas and he's glorifying the Pandavas. So he's saying about Kunti Devi now. When after a long time, Lord Krishna, the life of the Yadus, was about to leave for Dwaraka, she spoke many prayers in a voice choked with emotion and convinced him to continue to stay as a guest in her home. Lord Krishna made Yudhishthira very famous in both this world and the next. Although Lord Krishna was himself the actual cause of Jarasandha's death, he gave all the credit to Bhishma. Lord Krishna and Arjuna became famous for their close friendship. Hundreds of the greatest Puranas are not able to properly describe the glory of that friendship. Everyone saw how the twins Nakula and Sahadeva, who are both full of love for Lord Krishna, recommended that the Lord be worshipped first in the Rajasuya Yajna. During the Rajasuya Yajna and other festive occasions, Lord Krishna personally performed the auspicious ritual of sprinkling water on Draupadi's hair. He used to address her, "Oh, my dear friend." He protected her from the fearful dangers presented by Durvasa, Dushasana, and others. He removed all her grief. He accepted the boiled rice offered by Vidura. He performed the funeral festival of Bhishma. Please consider how many times he has taken your part in a dispute. It is very wonderful that the learned and devoted prayers the women in your palace offered to Lord Krishna are now glorified by the greatest poets and philosophers. Although Prahlada, his grandson Bali, and Hanuman received the Lord Hari's mercy, you and all your friends and relatives have received both his great mercy and his sincere love. When he had just received opulent gifts from the Kurus, Lord Krishna said to me and my friends, "They who are friends of the Pandavas are my friends, and they who are their enemies are my enemies. The Pandavas are my life breath." So Lord Krishna said that. How bold and arrogant I am. Only the Supreme Lord has the power to know or describe your virtues. I think the Lord descended to this world for your sake only. Sri Parikshit said, after a moment's embarrassed silence. Maharaj Yudhishthira sighed, and in the company of his mother, brothers, and wives, said, "O crest jewel of eloquent orators, Lord Krishna did not give his mercy to me and my brothers. We thought about this for a long time, and we decided that he never gave his mercy to us. By seeing the many calamities that have fallen on me and my brothers, materialistic men will lose faith in Lord Krishna, and they will become less interested to engage in devotional service to him. If that were to happen, it would be a great torment for us. Lord Krishna is our life and soul. Without him, we are like men without food or fish without water. For this reason, I prayed to the Lord, "O Lord, please use this Rajasuya Yajna as a trick to grant to both devotees and non-devotees faith in your pure devotional service." The Rajasuya Yajna displayed the opulent position of the devotees. Maharaj Yudhishthira considered that the sight of the devotees' opulence will encourage materialistic men to become devotees. Okay. In this way, all the people of the world will see the splendid, wonderful, and extraordinary opulences of your devotees, both in this world and the next. Then the people will become full of faith and they will worship your lotus feet. In this way, they'll become free from suffering and fear and they will attain perfect transcendental happiness. Now that he has given us a kingdom and killed the irreligious men who were our enemies, our grief is greater than before. My teachers headed by Drona and Bhishma, my sons headed by Abhimanyu, and many others also have entered the realm of death for my sake. I wish for the association of the devotees of Lord Vishnu more than I wish to remain alive. I live for the association of the devotees of Lord Vishnu more than I wish to remain alive. Separated from them, I cannot for a moment find the smallest amount of happiness. Because we are now pressed with so many duties, it has been a long time since we have enjoyed the happiness of seeing Lord Krishna's lotus face. Now he always stays in Dwaraka, giving pleasure to his dear relatives, the extremely fortunate Yadu dynasty. Your Lordship personally saw how he became our messenger, chariot driver, and servant in many other ways. Still, all this was only to protect the principles of religion, and by vanquishing a host of sins to remove the burden of the earth. Shri Parikshit said, then Krishna's dear friend Bhima laughed aloud and said, O student of Lord Krishna, please listen to these words. No one has the power to understand the vast ocean of Krishna's pastimes. Krishna is the original creator of all illusions. He is the guru of all skillful liars and cheaters. When has he not been very clever in his words and deeds? We do not understand him, and neither do we trust him. O mother, repeatedly sighing, my grandfather, Sriman Arjuna, the dear friend of Lord Krishna, then spoke the following sorrowful words. So Parikshit Maharaj is narrating all this story to his mother, Uttara. Sri Bhagwan Arjuna said, O Lord Narada, the great mercy your dearmost Lord Krishna gave us simply led to our suffering. The great mercy your dearmost Lord Krishna gave us simply led to our suffering. Bhishma and others, all intent on performing their religious duty as Kshatriyas and all fixed in transcendental knowledge, hurled many powerful weapons at me in the battlefield to break my armor and pierce my heart. Lord Krishna, who carries the Sudarshana Chakra in his hand, for my sake, again and again, intercepted all those weapons, allowing them to fall on his own transcendental body instead of mine. Even today, as I think of this act, I cannot pull the arrow of grief from my heart. O Brahmana Narada, how is it possible for me to be happy? Action that brings pain to a dear friend is not the symptom of either love or kindness. Originally, I refused to fight with Bhishma, Drona, and the others. But then Lord Krishna, the greatest of philosophers, taught me something that convinced me to fight with them. Hearing those words Lord Krishna spoke to me gives great pleasure to the dry impersonalist philosophers. Hearing those words Lord Krishna spoke to me gives great pleasure to the dry impersonalist philosophers. This fact brings great pain to those of us who live by glorifying the path of devotional service. When I reflect on the words he spoke to me, then I do not become happy. Those words were a trick to cheat me. I always have full faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, who is supremely pure, boundlessly merciful, always true to his word, and the very best of friends. No one is more dear to me than the Supreme Brahman, Lord Krishna, whose glorious transcendental form completely enchants the heart and mind. mm. Sri Nakula and Sahadeva said, Lord Krishna gave us the power to be peaceful in the midst of a host of calamities. He killed our enemies. He enabled us to perform the Ashwamedha Yajna and other Vedic rituals. He gave us great fame. He gave us a kingdom others could not attain, even with a host of pious deeds. O Lord Narada, we do not consider any of these acts to be Lord Krishna's kindness to us. By accepting the offering of first worship, he brought us great happiness and made our festival of many great Vedic sacrifices a grand success. That was his mercy to us. Now it is difficult even to see him. We have been cheated by him. How is it possible for us to remain alive? Shri Parikshit said. By hearing these words, Draupadi became overwhelmed with grief. Composing herself with a great effort, she still continued to cry as she spoke the following words in a voice choked with emotion. Sri Draupadi said, Many times, my dear friend, Sri Krishna rescued me from great embarrassment. Many times he killed the demons who were my enemies. I always thought he would be merciful to me. Now my father, brothers, sons, and everyone else have fallen on the battlefield. I do not lament. I am surrendered to his will. What shall I desire? On the pretext of these calamities, he grants a great benediction that fulfills all desires. When all my relatives had been killed, Lord Krishna personally sat by my side and consoled me with many eloquent words. That's Draupadi speaking. We are on page 170 and we'll continue this tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Vaishnava Thakur ki jai. Srila Sanatana Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.